Conoce las historias de las personas que son parte del cambio para proteger nuestro planeta. Esto es Sustentablemente. Conversaciones que inspiran. Un podcast original de Radio Pauta. Con Carolina Escobar.
Okay, we've been talking just a couple of minutes here with the co-founders of Calo Hospitality. And I'd love to repeat this part of the interview so that we can have it recorded now. But let me just introduce you real quick to Roger Chams, co-founder and CEO on the bottom here, white shirt in case you haven't been able to identify. And also with Nabil Gobriel and Gobriel, Nabil, what is the best?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, co-founder too, and Chief of Growth Officer of Calo Hospitality. Both great men related to food and nutrition. So that's why we're so happy that you could give us a couple of minutes to talk on Tu Huella podcast in order to find out what you've been doing, where you've had success or best experiences, and the steps that you've taken in order to get to where you are right now. So if you can explain us real quick to that part of the audience that have no idea what you do and the great food that you can give people. And like it was on my case, when I met you guys, the great importance of when you should eat, what you should eat, and that croissants that have been sitting for a whole day shouldn't be eaten at 5 p.m. We'll get to that part of the story later.
Okay. Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for having us with you. Where we started in different type of food. We started, Dubai is, you've been in Dubai several times and you know Dubai very well. It's a fast city. Everybody working around the clock. No one is having enough time to properly eat. So the way we started is mainly for the five-star hotels. Five-star hotel, they have people from all over the world. For instance, Atlantis, they have 3,000 people. They're coming from 80 different nationalities around the world. So people like Atlantis, they want the workers to have great quality food, enabling them to work for 10 hours a day, some of them on the sun outside in the summer where the temperature is 45 degrees in Dubai. So they want them to have the best. So our job was to create a good menu and at a good value of money for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and midnight. So the main focus was on five-star hotel, then schools, universities, private sectors, army, oil and gas, hospitals. So we've done this, Nabil and myself, for many years. If I'm talking about myself, for around 20 years. And then during this 20 years, I had a project for the schools of UAE to do a good balanced menu for all the schools in UAE. And it didn't go through because the main focus was on restaurants, growing the business to Saudi and to Qatar. Then 2020, I took a break. Nabil was still fighting between the oil and gas and hospitals. And then we look at the challenge and the opportunity in UAE, which are the kids. My son, by 18, 19, I don't want to come to him and tell him Burger King is not good for you every day, unless he will be trained from a younger age what to eat, what not to eat. Like some people, they eat croissant by 6 evening and it's cooked at 6 a.m. So these guys, you should go and tell them, croissant, you wait for it in the morning.
But let me tell you here, I think it's something that happens to a lot of people. So you're in a conference like when we met in Dubai, exactly. And you've been all day working like crazy, right? Between meetings and in our case, communications and stuff, being master ceremony and everything. At the time, by 7 p.m., you start realizing that you are hungry, that you haven't eaten probably, you've drank coffee or just water during the whole day, maybe a snack here and there, but you're getting hungry and your energy starts to lower. So you definitely need to just get something, ingest something so that you go, anything. So what you have around? You see a croissant and you just put it in your mouth. So that is when I met you guys and you taught me. And I'd love to know how you designed those menus in order, as you were saying right now, to meet necessities of high temperature, or today executives that train a lot or do, for instance, intermediate fasting. So there's a lot of combinations that needs to be put and thought of before designing a menu, right?
True. It depends from people to people, Caroline. Like when the nurseries, the first project approached us, we're talking about toddlers. So toddlers, you can't tell them, oh, don't eat this. This is not good. They will look at you like you're talking something totally weird. So we know what kids like. The young babies, they want to see the cheese melting. They want to play with it. They want to put tomato sauce on their face. You can't come and do a lecture to them. So what we did is they want meatballs, they want cheese, and they want to see something funny in front of them. So we smashed the lentil because we want them to eat seeds. We want them to have, for the bones. So we smashed the seeds and we mixed them with the meat and we added the cheese and we put some sauce on the side. So every time they break the meat, they don't see the lentil. Because if you put lentil to a little one, he will look at it. He's just want to play with it. He's not going to eat them. So we made them eat what should be eaten without them noticing. So it depends from age to age. I can't do this to you. I can't do this to Nabil or to myself, but we can do it to these guys. So slowly, their body will get used to having vegetables. A lot of kids, a lot of young age people, 10, 12 years old, you offer them vegetables, they look at you like, oh, I'm not sick, I want protein now. Like my son, he keeps on telling me, I want protein. Protein is not only what your body needs. So we made the balance for younger ones. Then it came the second challenge for a large group of 12,000 kids to design menu from different age. We've got the younger ones, we've got 7 years old, we've got the 10, the 15, and the 18. So you want to please them all under one roof. And this is where Nabil and myself and another partner, we start designing the menu. I'll let Nabil explain a bit more about the menu, how it came all under one roof. And then we presented to the school and they were so pleased. And we signed the agreement. And we started with them in January. And last week we had a meeting with the school and the CEO said to us, that's the first time I received call from parents thanking me for choosing Calo as a caterer. And for us, that was the main reward of what she said to us in the meeting. So, yes, we're not doctors.
We're caterers. And it's what we were discussing before we started the call, is that we were humbled, literally humbled by the feedback that we were getting from the parents, from the children. The children were bringing the parents into the canteen to get their parents to actually try the food for the first time. Because I think you hit the nail on the head before. A lot of the time with previous caterers and their previous experience, there wasn't the correct nutrition. So they were literally, like yourself, during COP, whatever was there, they were putting it in their mouth. They were buying it because there was nothing else available. And parents, they would ask their parents to kind of do this for them on a daily basis. But this was becoming an issue for parents, having to literally come up with menus every single day for their children. And it's not easy. It's not easy for a parent, a full-time working mum, a full-time working dad, to then also cater to their children's needs. And that's where myself and Roger come in. Using our experience and also in collaboration with chefs who work in the education sector. There's an actual word, it's called nudging vegetables. So what you actually do is that you hide vegetables within meatballs. Okay,
that is exactly what we need to know how to do. All moms and all dads that are seeing this is because you show them peas and they're like, or green beans and they're like, zucchini. Do I really have to? So how do you hide them?
If they don't know it's in there, then they'll eat it. And I'll give you a perfect example. Right now, my children are eating bolognese, which they love. But within that bolognese, there is lentils, there's zucchini, there is carrots, there is peppers, and there is onion. And they eat it all. So essentially, what we do in our work, we also bring it to the home because that's where it all started, right? That's where the passion and the love for this happened. So you chop them so small, you smash them up, it mixes up into the sauce, and it kind of all just combines together to make a nice flavor. And as long as they are blissfully unaware that all of these ingredients are mixed together, they're going to eat it. And then slowly you start introducing these items to the children and telling them, oh, but it's in your food already, but I don't eat lentils. Of course you eat lentils. Look, I'm cooking it and showing you that there's lentils in the food. Oh, I don't eat zucchini. Oh, no, but it's in the bolognese. Oh, really? So I like it. Yes, you like it. And it's psychology. And so similarly, what we do into the schools as well, we've introduced, for example, we have a halloumi wrap. But the halloumi wrap is...
What's a halloumi wrap? So that for those that don't know what it is.
So halloumi is
it's a famous Greek cheese.
Okay.
Famous Cypriot cheese, which I
Cyprus.
Let's put it straight. It's the only thing that we actually have that's ours, let's be honest. So it's a type of Cypriot cheese that is very popular. You can grill it, you can have it cold, and it has like a dense rubbery texture, and it's salty and it's lovely, and it's used in lots of Mediterranean cuisine. Mm-hmm. So we've put this in a wrap, vegetarian wrap, but the wrap is a spinach tortilla wrap. So within the tortilla, there's spinach. So the children, and it's green, but a lot of the children just see it as it's a green wrap, but they don't know that they're actually eating spinach within the wrap as well. Similarly, in all of our, on a daily basis, we are providing a main course, which is a protein dish with a side of vegetables, and then and a healthy starch as well. And also the portions are measured out, because all of our recipes and all of our ingredients are also governed by the municipalities over here, where we actually have to tell them how much salt, how much sugar, how much fat, the ingredients that is used, and every item is actually approved prior to being to going onto our menu. And if we want to introduce anything new onto the menu, then that has to go through an approval process that is vetted by the regulatory authorities in order for us to put that on the menu. And this gives parents the kind of the confidence that what the food that their children is eating is clean and it's healthy. And of course, it has the proper nutrients that their children are supposed to have. So it's a delicate balance between tasty food and healthy food. Like Roger said before, it's not hospital food. This is kind of fun, modern food in order to keep children engaged and also continuously coming back to buy, because you have to continuously innovate, because after 2-3 months, they get bored. So you have to bring in new things. You have to introduce new items on the menu so children remain engaged. And it's the same. Children are just like adults as well. You can't give them chicken every day. You have to reinvent the wheel sometimes.
Well, and talking about chicken, you know what? I saw this documentary or series at one point in the US where they tried to teach children how to eat healthy and teach them about vegetables too. So one part of the series was the cook was coming to school, right? I guess kids between 5 and 7. And they would ask, so who can tell me the name of different vegetables? French fries was one of them. And you're like, what?
The favorite vegetable of all time.
Favorite vegetable. And then the other one was an experiment where the cook would show them all the interiors of the chicken and the skin and the soft parts of it, right? Put it into a blender where they will all go like, ugh, mix it all together. And after that, just smash that paste kind of and make nuggets and fry them, right? With all those ingredients that they, of course, say, no way I could eat that. And then he asked, who would like one? Everybody raised their hands. Everybody.
That was Jamie Oliver.
That was Jamie Oliver. Exactly.
Jamie Oliver.
Yeah. And you know what?
That was Jamie Oliver.
Yeah. And you were like, how are we going to do with obesity, which is one of the huge pandemics nowadays among children, sadly? And I want to say around the world, here in South America, we have huge numbers on that, and we're not proud of it. But it's really, really hard combining that working mom, working dad with this economy and good diet. So put it all together. How you've been doing that, or how would you recommend to do that, or how do you manage?
You know, it wasn't easy. Now these days, they're even teaching pets, they're even teaching dogs now to eat vegetables. And you see dogs, I will send you later some videos. You see dogs that are eating broccoli, they're eating beans, they're eating carrot, they're eating strawberries. Dogs, big dogs. We're not talking about puppies that don't know what they're eating. It's all with the habit. It's all, your body is giving you always giving you a sign what your body needs. Like you said, correctly said, you'll be exhausted the whole day, nothing to eat, then you want to eat. Your body's giving you alarm, eat, 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 eat. So what we do is not only by hiding. I'll give you another example. Everybody, they do smoothies. They add milk, ice, sugar, honey. We did our own smoothies. We had one of the moms came to us because we created an app. And on this application, the parents could see the menus, could choose for their kids what to eat for the whole month. I want them Tuesday to have lasagna. I want them Thursday to have meatballs. So they could see, and they could even see what their kids are spending their money on. So I had a mom came to me and she said, my daughter is having everyday smoothie. I'm just worried. I don't want her to eat sugar. Look at her. She's a bit chubby. I want her to lose weight. So I grabbed the mom and I told her, you want to see how we do our smoothie? She said, I would love to. So I show her the bag. The bag that we're using is 150 grams of pure fruits. No sugar, nothing. I opened the blender, I put the bag inside the blender, and I added 200 ml of organic apple juice, and I mixed it, and I put it in the cup. I said, that's the smoothie that your daughter is having every day. So she said, you know what? I wanted to have 2 of them every day. And she was right, because the first week we were selling around 80 smoothies a day. Today we are selling 1,800 smoothies a day, to the same number of kids, to the same number of students. Why? Because it's healthy. They're having fruits and they're having organic apple juice, 0 sugar, 0 ice, 0 water, and 0 milk and artificial products. So we're giving them what they want. They want the chicken twister of KFC. We had one of the challenges. Can we do the chicken twister of KFC? It's so yummy. We did it. But instead of frying the chicken, we grilled it. Instead of putting a lot of mayonnaise, we put melted cheese on it, and we put some shredded lettuce. We roll it into tortilla. Then we toast the tortilla to be the cheese to melt. So they taste it and they love it. Yeah. But they don't know that they are eating grilled into healthy bread, into vegetables on it. So everything could be done in different way. So this is what we do.
Nabil, in that sense, how do you manage the cost of it? Because it's myth or not myth that eating healthier can be more expensive. And there is companies that would love for them, or schools that would love for their students to eat healthier. But then there's a cost situation that it's hard to balance.
Yeah. And especially in schools as well, where it is very sensitive. In the UAE, a lot of schools, they're private schools as well, so everything is paid for by the parents. Me and Roger are not immune to this as well. So I think you're right, it's finding balance. So, for example, not all healthy food is expensive, like Roger just said there.
Absolutely. It's absolutely. I mean, this is the same chicken. I'm sorry, I cut you in here. It's not related to money in here. We are cheaper than the others. People, they take advantage when they say healthy and they say organic to increase their prices. Like you go to a restaurant, you find a normal pizza for 15 euros and they tell you with truffle oil, 30 euros. They only add 50 cents of truffle oil, but they use the word of truffle oil. Yeah. You know, they give you pasta for $10 and lobster pasta for $70, where they put lobster for yours of $3. So people in this industry, we know it by heart. They take advantage of the word. We are only giving you the healthy and the best food ever. We're using the same chicken. We're using the same vegetables. We're using the same fruits. But instead of putting this with that, instead of frying, we grill. The price of bread that we use, it varies, but it's not a big difference. It's not only about money. We are not more expensive than the others. Instead, we are sometimes cheaper than the others because we're not charity. No, we're making money. We're here to make money. But we know that in short period of time, now as we speak, we have around 10 different schools are speaking to us. They want us to start with them ASAP in September. Wow. So not every healthy food is expensive. Nabil, sorry, I cut you.
Yeah, no problem, no worries. I know you're passionate about these things because it's true. These are questions that we face every day as well. Be it from the the schools, and be it from also the parents as well, because before they were used to paying a certain price point for a sandwich, for argument's sake. And whereas we know we are competitive in terms of what we're actually supplying, we are nowhere near the prices that are out there in the market, simply, as Roger said, because it's got avocado in it. So because it's got avocado, you have to increase your price by 30%. No, there is ways to manage your costs in terms of portion size, in terms of the size of a salad, the size of a sandwich, how much you put in, because quantity is the main reason why we are unhealthy as a people today. It's not what we eat. For me, it's the quantity of what we eat. And I think this is also the message that we're trying to instill on children, because going back to what you said before, it starts with education, right? It starts at a young age. If a child knows that this is what I should eat for dinner versus this is what I shouldn't eat for dinner, then they then make better choices as they grow up and start making food choices for themselves. So when they go out, instead of going to a fast food joint, they will maybe make a better decision and maybe pay a bit more, but have a healthier meal and a better meal, because it comes down to nutrition. Food is only good for us if it gives us energy and the right nutrients in order for us to function. And this is what we're trying to kind of educate not only our clients, but also the parents and the teachers as well, and the children from a young age, to enable them to understand and make better choices when they get older, so they don't become obese, so they don't have diabetes, so they don't take these bad habits as they grow older. And hopefully one day they can also give these habits to their children as well.
And then we
keep on having sessions with the parents. We keep on having sessions with the parents, because we are with their kids during breakfast and lunch, but they are with them more than us. We only there in the school 180 days. There is still 180 days we're not there. We're not there on the evening. We're not there on the weekend. So we don't want this hard work that we're doing. Then in the evening, his mom would tell him, like, let me order KFC for you if you're hungry. So then all the work that we're doing is gone to the garbage. I mean, we're doing muffins, and they love our muffins. But there is no sugar in our muffin. We add raisin, we add carrot, we add flour honey, because flour honey is good for younger age. So they taste it, it's sweet, it's nice, but they don't know that there is no sugar and there is no butter on it. So these are the things, like, we don't want the parents, all the work that we are doing, then in the evening, they destroy everything. We're not saying we don't want kids to go outside and eat junk food. Let them go and eat. But we want them not to like it.
That's a great way to put it. You guys wanted not to like it, so that they can differentiate with their palate already what is good and what is not that good. And in that sense, how do you combine today's challenges between just the food that you give and then vegetarians and then vegans? Because that's another big challenge that has come into the food industry.
Yeah, we're doing vegetarians every day. Nabil, truth.
No problem. So yes, you're right, because the other thing that we have over here as well is because you've got so many different cultures and so many different, I'll also say religions, because there is within cultures and ethnicities, you have different religions and different eating habits. Okay, and I think so. What we perceive as vegetarian and vegan, a different culture will say. I'll give a perfect example. When we first opened up, we've obviously got all of our nutritional values, all of the allergens displayed for the parents on all of our menus as well. And our head of operations had a conversation with an Asian family, and she said, "We are vegetarian." And next to our croissant, we keep coming back to croissants for some reason, but next to the croissant, we had a vegetarian symbol. And a croissant, if you like, in the West, in the culture, is vegetarian. But her argument is that in her culture, that because it had egg in it, it's not pure vegetarian. And then my ops manager was, no, that's vegan. If for a vegan, they can't have it. Because no, we are pure vegetarians. We drink milk, but we don't eat eggs.
Okay.
And then, so she was like, so that means on every single item that you have a vegetarian where there's egg involved, you need to remove it because that's not as per my culture. So it becomes a challenge, and not only that. And so so in essence, we had to kind of rethink things and come up with, I guess you can't say it's cookie cutter, but then it's offering different types of dishes for different types of cultures and making everybody aware that this is now a pure vegetarian dish, contains egg, not suitable for X, Y, and Z. And allergens is another thing. I mean, we did a study, especially in younger children, that it was 1 in 10 children had some sort of allergy or intolerance. And that also plays a factor into our menus because we also have to work closely with the parents and the teachers to make sure that we have the correct information, because we also deliver meals. So what Roger touched on before is that parents are able to pre-order their meals for their children for all ages. So we have kind of 3 fail-safes in that sense. One, the first fail-safe is a parent. The parent knows that my child is allergic to gluten, for argument's sake. On the menu we have, this is gluten. Then the second fail-safe is that we have that information as well. So if Johnny has ordered a product as gluten and we know that he's gluten, we have to somehow communicate that to the parents and the teachers that Johnny can't have that. So what we're trying to work on now is in the app that we have and we're developing further, that when you enter your child's details and has all the options, these options do not become available for Johnny to order. So anything, if he's, example, got a gluten intolerance, he is on the app, he cannot order gluten, anything that has gluten in it. So it kind of removes that as well. But again, this is a work in progress. This is something that is evolving with time, because ultimately the child and the parents also take the ultimate responsibility, and we're there to help and to guide. But it's always going to be something that's evolving and always going to be a challenge for us. But it's something that we'll have to face a lot more in the future as well.
Well, and it's hard because for me, to schools or anything that has to do with it, in this case, you have 2 huge customers that receive the same product and both need to be happy. So in this case, it's the child, right, that needs to like it, eat it, and avoid those allergies and stuff. And then also the parents that have to pay for it. So the customer that pays for it is not the same that consumes it. So that's a big challenge to begin with. So you have to have 2 happy ones, one that is taking the product and the one that's paying for it. And in that sense, too, since we've talked about the health part of it, how do you manage the chain of products part of it, being the UAE, and please correct me here, not a big producer of, in this case, you were mentioning, Roger, avocados, which is something that we eat a lot. For instance, we produce it here in Chile, but it's very expensive. So how do you do to try to have a more sustainable chain of suppliers?
I'll pipe in there. So the UAE over the past few years has actually heavily invested in having its own produce. So at the moment, they are a lot of the vegetables, cucumbers, tomatoes, lettuce, peppers, is all being grown locally now in the UAE. There was a big incentive several years ago to open up your own farms, because there's a lot of sun. Sun is 365 days a year. Yeah.
I saw a video not long ago of Roger with students picking up lettuce, right? So growing
yes.
this.
Yeah.
This is we're doing with one of the schools now. We are growing vegetables and to do organic vegetables. And then the kids are involved. They go, they help. So what we do is whenever they grow, we are grabbing all the vegetables along with the kids, and we're going back to our kitchen and making salads, and we're cooking nice dish, and we serve it in the school and tell them this is from your own farm, from your own garden. And we did this with the chairman of the group of the school, and she loved the idea. And so every a month or so, we go with them, we grab the vegetables and we prepare for them salads, and they go walk in the cafeteria and that's our vegetables. I was there today. We're trying as much as possible so the people in the community to be involved on what we do. And it's all start by here. I was drinking my coffee with 2 spoons of sugar every day, 2.5 spoons of sugar every day, until I had dislocated shoulder. And my fiance, she's my wife now, she was doing my coffee before she goes to work. And she was doing 3 mugs for me every day. And every evening when she comes home, and I tell her, I love the coffee. What are you doing differently? She said, I'm not going to tell you. So after 2 weeks, my shoulder was good. I started doing my own coffee, and I hated it. And I said to her, please tell me. She said, every day, she told me, how you doing it? So I told her the same how I was doing before. And she said, okay, I'll do it for you. I tasted, I said, I love this coffee. What she was doing is for the last 3 weeks, she was reducing every day a small amount of sugar until after 3 weeks, I was having my coffee without sugar at all. And now I can't sustain any drop of sugar in my coffee. And it took me 3 weeks, 1 month for my body to understand that I hate sugar. Wow. But she did it for me slowly. You can't come to someone who's eating every day 2 Big Mac. No, burger is not good. You can't eat burger. From tomorrow, you're going to eat grilled chicken with broccoli. He's going to hate you. He's going to hate himself. He will not eat. He will fight with you. You have to take him slowly. And this is what we do. We had many kids came to us when we first started. They look at the croissant. They look, no chocolate croissant? And I look at it and said, I wish I can give you chocolate croissant, but chocolate is not good for you. Okay, what can you give me? I can give you a nice muffin. We did it with honey and carrots. Try it. It's on me. I don't want you to pay for it. And then every day she started buying the muffin. And she stopped asking for the muffin. They came asking for hot chocolate because the previous caterer was doing hot chocolate. And when I knew that, I was like, how are you giving hot chocolate for 7 years old? And then we were not giving hot chocolate. And then every time somebody asked me for hot chocolate, I said, why you want to have hot chocolate? I said, because I like it. I said, but it's not good for you. So, we speak to them like they are adults. We teach them slowly. No, you're doing wrong. This is many people, they do this to these kids. But these kids, they don't understand that they have feeling like us. They think like us. They like things like we do. So, you get hungry, you eat at 6 p.m. croissant, it was in front of you. We can't come to a 7-year-old baby and blame her for something that she's doing normal.
No, so but you can blame me. I wasn't being very bright.
You were rushing to an interview and I said, what are you doing?
I remember. Nabil, and in that sense, you were saying the UAE has starting to grow a lot of vegetables. And actually during the last COP, they showed that very profoundly in the installations they had, right? Where the COP was going on. Yeah. But also, I guess, trying to buy locally. Is it that easy? Is it that something that you've managed to do?
Yeah, it is. I think it's a lot more sustainable to buy locally. They've made it very commercially viable as well, because the products that are made locally they're much better value, if I'm honest with you. But the UAE is very lucky because of the procurement chain that they have in general that was set up. Because I think there was a statistic many years ago that we did. It was 95% of all food products in the UAE were imported. So the sophisticated supply chain has been set up for many, many years. Being a central hub, being central in the world, it was very easy for them to bring in these products. So where, for example, in Europe, strawberries and grapes are seasonal products. Strawberries and grapes in the UAE were available 24/7. Whenever you go to the supermarket, it's available, it's there. So what they've started to do now is grow these products here. And it's not only fruit and vegetables. They've opened up their own fish farms. They've opened up their own, not shellfish, clams. Some very famous clams are now available within the UAE and the surrounding GCC countries as well. So it's a lot easier to bring it in. It's sustainable. They don't have to be flown from the other side of the world. Yeah. And essentially it's making the UAE a self-sustaining hub. I think it's Emirates Airlines I was reading the other day. They have the largest vertical farm in the world. And they built that, I think that it opened maybe about a year ago. it was all coinciding with COP as well. And you're right, they were showcasing a lot of these vertical farms during COP as well. And it's for two reasons. One, it's they use it on all of their airlines, so it's a fantastic commercially for them as well. But it's also fantastic for the economy. They don't have to fly all of these products in. They produce it locally, and they're also turning it into a commercial business where they're also starting to sell it to supermarkets and to caterers like ourselves in order to benefit from this. And it's, again, very competitive. So in terms of the volumes are getting a lot better. Like I said, it's done 365 days a year, so similar to what the school is doing, where they have a greenhouse. Imagine this on 1,000 times the size of scale in terms of what they're doing now. And as the technology and the impetus for this grows, it's only going to get much better in the UAE as well.
And then a last point that I would like to touch here in this conversation is food waste, another big issue for those that are industry and for those that, like me, are into sustainability. 1/3 of the food produced in the world is thrown away every year. So what do you do? Because I know it's a huge, it could be a huge problem since temperatures are so high in the UAE, right?
Yes. Especially now we're in the holy month of Ramadan. And typically during Ramadan, you have big people fast throughout the day when the sun is from sunrise to sunset. And then it's celebrated in the evening with something which is called an iftar. And iftar is traditionally a very lavish event. And me and Roger have been in this country for many, many years. And if I go back maybe 5-10 years ago, there was a huge amount of waste because the abundance. The whole point of it is to be abundant, and even if the food is not eaten, the abundance to be there in order for kind of to represent the fact that no one had eaten and there is lots of food available for people to eat. Now, because of the temperature and the high heat, like you said, this food would have to be disposed of for health and safety reasons, and so it should be because of the heat of this country. So what's being promoted now is to have less lavish iftar. To have, instead of having these huge buffets, is to have a more a la carte iftar where food can be pre-ordered and brought to the table like a restaurant, and not to have this huge waste at the end. Typically, me and Roger, as caterers, also struggle with clients of the buffet doesn't always have to be full. If there's 500 people who are coming to eat, 500 people don't have to have every dish. As long as you come and there is a main course, a starter, a dessert, and a salad for someone to eat, it's enough. The meal is there. Similarly, with our salads and sandwiches, it's a challenge that there has to be enough for people to buy. However, we don't want to throw anything away because it's wrong. So we will always maintain that if an item runs out, it doesn't mean that there isn't any food. Maybe you turn up and say, I wanted the chicken sandwich, but there's only the vegetable sandwich left because you've come late on to buy something. There's still something for you. It becomes a preference. The food that you prefer is not there. However, there is food for you to eat. So it's a challenge and a balance that we have to act and make sure that there is enough food for people to eat, but not enough to throw away. Because we'll also give at the end, we will always offer the food out. There is security guards, there's cleaners, there is maintenance people. So we will always give this food that's left over to them to ensure that we don't have any waste. But it is a tricky balance. It is something that we still work on, and it is extremely important for the environment as well.
At the same time, we make sure that these guys don't take the food with them home. If it's in the buffet for 2-3 hours, then this security guy was going to take the food and put it on the side and wait for his duty to be over in 2 hours. And he takes it with the bus for another hour. Then he consumes it. That food is not good anymore. It has to be consumed immediately. So this is what we do. The buffet is over. The school is over by 3. We still have 10 portions of chicken, 5 portions of pasta immediately. In every school in Dubai or anywhere in the world, there are hundreds of workers, from cleaners, from security, from maintenance. So we call these guys every day. We choose one department. Let's say if we have balance. Now with 2 months operation, we came to know what they like, what they don't like. We're almost every day. But in case on Friday before the weekend, we still have 10 sandwiches, 5 salads, whatever. Okay, yesterday was the security, today is the maintenance. We call the maintenance department. We've got a few nice sandwiches for you. So we come and put them in a nice box. Enjoy your evening. Please make sure you eat them before you go home. Don't take it home with you in 50-degree temperature and then eat it. Eat it now. So this is what we do. I strongly agree with you. There are people dying from hunger around the world. And there are people we see like throwing food left and right. So I could say we're having today from 2 to 3% of wastage. We're trying to make it less than 1.
Well, good. That's a big challenge, and that is a good policy too. So projects to come, that app, it sounds really fascinating to me, and even better if eventually that means that I can order and you would bring a box home so that all the work you did during the day is not throwing away, but just having fast food at night. And then mothers or fathers can have that same healthy food that the kids having during the day, right?
I'll let Nabil explain to you what we're doing. So what we're working on at the moment is kind of a meal kit box where there's 2 ways of what we're thinking about at the moment. The one is to have the ingredients, the recipe and the ingredients ready for a family to cook for. So, for example, you are a family of 5, Cara, correct? So
yeah.
You will order the food and say, we're going to make salmon teriyaki with rice with steamed broccoli. So what we will provide is the portion for five people to eat in terms of the veg, protein, and starch. It comes vacuum sealed in a cold storage container, so it keeps the optimum temperature. You will then take it home, and then as a family, or whoever the chef of the family is, that is, we'll prepare the food for everybody to eat from raw, and the step-by-step instructions will be there and how to make the meal. The second thing that we're looking at is to have that salmon teriyaki pre-cooked, and the parents come and literally take that home and consume it. Now, the challenge there is the timing of when it's going to be picked up, because generally schools finish early, and how they're going to serve it at home. However, it is something that we're working on, and we really want to introduce it because we know it will 100% work. We know that by removing this obstacle of having to think about what you need to cook at home, so many parents will do it. We know it can work. There are also certain companies that do this. They do this as a business model. However, there's no companies who do it from the school. Yeah. So this will be a first for us, where we will be allowing the parents to pick up the box or the pre-cooked meal, or once they leave school. So it's kind of from school to kitchen. I'm not sure what the slogan is yet.
From school to home, or something like that.
From school to home, yeah. Homework, tasty homework that you'll enjoy doing for the first time. So it's like some sort of catchy phrase, but it makes sense. It really makes sense for us to do this, and it's just something that needs a bit of work in terms of getting the right model. But we're so confident that it's going to be successful because it's something that parents need, and I think it's a big one.
Well, wonderful. You know what? It sounds really cool. I would love for you guys to have that same service here in Chile. I would definitely pick up the kids from school and have that box with. But for now, great seeing you guys. All the best in the coming challenges. And I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Thank you for the talk as well. It's been great seeing you again as well.
Same thing. You take care.
Take care now. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Escuchaste conversaciones que inspiran y nos invitan a tomar acción en el cuidado de nuestro planeta. Esto fue Sustentablemente, junto a Carolina Escobar, un podcast original de Radio Pauta.